Good evening, everybody. This is Daily Recall on July 15th, 2026. I'm Tom Stoukas coming to you from Sarnia, Ontario. Hot one today. Hot. I mean, it's summer. It's supposed to be hot. It's like, 37? 37, and then with the humidity, it was like, over 40 degrees. It was like, I walked outside, it was like going into a blast oven. Fried my brain, I think I fried it. But you just gotta drink lots of water. Work wasn't too bad though. It was cooler inside than it was in the kitchen than it was in the outside, so whatever. It's supposed to cool down for the rest of the week, so slowly get down to more, like, still hot but not crazy hot. All right, let's see what's going to happen today. We're in the dog days of summer, so it's just everybody's kind of just trying to chill out in third world Canada, the third worldization of Canada. All right, let's go. First post. I've seen so many trucking posts lately, and it's like the summer, the roads are clear, it's visibility's 100%, yet I see all these trucking disasters. Don't ban the trucks, deport the Indians. Yeah, just truck drivers smashing into things. So, I don't know what the problem is with the trucking industry. Is it they're too cheap to hire, like, experienced people? Or what, people don't want to work as truckers anymore? I don't know. Like, why we have to bring in all these Indian truckers, but like I said, bring on the robot trucks. If that's what, I don't think they'll be any, they'd probably be a lot safer. Probably be a lot safer. Next. A new Privy Council report has found that Carney Liberals are importing foreign criminals faster than they can deport them, with federal officials comparing the situation to a bathtub. We are constantly scooping water out, but the bathtub is filling up. Yeah, like we were talking about this yesterday, where a lot of these Indian gangs find Canada useful because, like, their criminals can come back and forth, no problem. So yeah, Canada has become a criminal sanctuary. They have allowed criminals, terrorists, gang members, rapists, murderers, and thieves to run rampant in our streets. When they commit crimes, our liberal judges don't deport them, just slap them on the wrist and send them out to commit more disgusting crimes. So yeah, liberals have destroyed Canada. It's not just the liberals, but yeah, same. She's got the right idea, but third world country. All right. Like, so that's what our immigration system is. All right. Let's go to the next one. Sorry, my thing's broken. All right, next one. Canada's gone to third world shit, and Pierre Poilievre just keeps talking about the stupid kettlebell. Yeah, he said the making of the Joe Rogan kettlebell.
Press the leather onto there in order to get this
He's
Exactly.
really obsessed with this kettlebell.
This piece of leather was cut on our CO2 laser for the final shape.
Wow.
And then we stained it and all that stuff. Face of the JRE logo, same thing. We did the deep engrave,
Yes.
then we did the coating, and then we went back and we brushed and removed.
What material is this?
This one is aluminum.
That's
So
aluminum.
we tried, we made a couple renditions,
Yes.
and we tried
All right.
to see which one looked best.
Anyway, judging by his poll numbers, he's not doing a good job. He's not really doing the job. We'll talk about that later. Next. I think it's broken. Anyway, this is funny. So Doug Ford's acting like tough guy with this U.S. trade war, and part of that was to ban alcohol, ban alcohol from the. Ban U.S. alcohol from the liquor store shelves. And then it shows today that, oh no. Alright, I'm just gonna have to do it this way. Alright. My studio is falling apart. Literally. It just fell apart on me. So anyway, he spent $8 million to store the American alcohol that it pulled off the shelf, despite the USA. Oh, it sucks. All right. So I have to figure out. All right, I'm just gonna hold it. So he spent $8 million to store the American alcohol. It is pulled off the shelf, and I guess there's like $2 million of it expiring too, so they have to throw that out. So yeah, we're really showing the Americans. And do you really think the banning of All right. Do you really think the banning of the alcohol is going to really make a difference in the big grand scheme of things? No, it's just wasting millions of dollars of taxpayer money. Okay, this is ridiculous. Hold on one sec. All right. I think I screwed this microphone. Hold on one sec. Hold on one sec. All right, I think I got it. All right, so yeah, that'll show him. That'll show him, Doug. Next post. What is your first impression? Oh, look at this. I think this is in Kamloops, Kamloops, BC. I wonder how big a mess they left out there. Bye bye BC. Sweating here. Yeah, we're turning into India, basically. That's the whole point of that video, I guess. Alright, next post here. Holy, what a disaster. Okay. Africa, the ban immigration from Africa segment tonight. No wonder food bank donations are dropping. Yeah, no wonder they're dropping. Even in Sarnia, they had to do a huge last-minute drive for food bank because they're running out of food, and it's because you got a flooding of Africans and Indians who think it's like a free supermarket. We've seen lots of these videos. Here's another one where they're basically these influencers from the third world influencers who want to come and show us how to show their fellow Africans how to get free food when they come to Canada. Get ready with Aisha, the African international student, as she takes you along on her journey to exploit food banks in Guelph, Ontario. They have no shame, and this is happening all over Canada. Either the government starts cracking down on this blatant fraud, or the food banks need to start asking for ID and only allow Canadians in need to get in. Current immigration trend is bringing in tons of Africans these days, and they're doing a lot of exploiting in this country, including fraudulently claiming asylum and coaching others on how to get away with it. Let's see what this is. Yeah, like, I seen, like, Africans, tons of them in Sarnia. Like, how the hell did they end up in Sarnia? I don't know. And they have, like, 5 kids, 6 kids, young kids, too. And, yeah, and idea, you know. They should fix Africa instead. Let's see what she's doing here.
Me as an international student from Canada. So today I'm going to the food bank, the University of Guelph Food Bank. I've not been to the food bank this semester, and it is my last semester at the University of Guelph. So I want to go before I can't go again.
So she's going to the food bank, she's filming it.
I had to carry this big bag because I'm taking 30 items. So it's going to be a lot.
She's basically treating it like it's a supermarket, you know, like,
oh,
it's not a supermarket. Like, it's like she's grocery shopping, basically. Where it's like you know in the back of the mind, the food bank's there. If you need it, like, if you're that broke and you need food for your kid, you know it's there. It's not meant for a weekly grocery trip. And she's doing all this filming, too.
So I got yogurt, cornflakes, Greek yogurt, frozen berries, garlic. I got juice, fresh milk, evaporated milk, sugar, banana, apples, lemon, tomato paste, granola bars, ginger, and garlic.
She got it. She got everything.
I got.
Anyway, the question is she going to go home after her semester's done? I don't think so. All right, next, Mississauga, Ontario. A lot of Muslims in Mississauga. What the hell's going on here? I don't know. But it just, like, this isn't Toronto that I knew from 15, 20 years ago. crazy. Mark Carney loves this, though. He thinks it's great. All right. Next, more Indians. Indians will destroy every river and lake in Canada if given the chance. Indians have zero self-awareness. This is Dipika's community dumping idols into a lake. Dipika? She regularly hosts RT on the Ganges on the Credit River, where the park is trashed. So yeah. I get paranoid. See, they keep throwing these things and I don't think that's good for the water. All right. So, yeah. I get paranoid because I see all the rivers in India and how horrible they look. And, you know, I don't want that to happen here. And here I see them throwing shit in the water. Like, how can you not think it's not, you know, you think of the rivers in India and think, oh my God, we can't let that happen here. And then here they are throwing stuff in the river. And the government, nothing. Fish and wildlife, nothing. It's all good. All right. TD Leaker. I feel terrible for Canadian taxpayers who've had their country and housing markets scammed out from under them. I really do. So here's what's the truth about foreigners who want to flock to Canada. The truth the establishment would be reeling about.
That's
should
why
it get
we
it.
started Man-Made to create the most comfortable pair. Ours are made of a
Canada's become a high welfare, relatively easy entry destination for economic migrants from poorer, less stable countries, particularly via gamed student and temporary foreign worker channels, because it offered material gains, safety nets, family sponsorship, and eventual citizenship with less friction than stricter alternatives like the US or parts of Europe. So yeah, that's basically Canada in the last 10, 15 years. And, you know, why are they doing this then? Like, what? That's not a way to run a country, you know. International student boom. Function as a backdoor immigration system. Tuition at private colleges and postgrad work permits, plus PR pathways. Documented issues included diploma mills, overwork violations, and recruiters selling study equals stay dreams. TFW program let employers import cheaper labor for farms, food, processing, trucking, and services, often suppressing wage pressure for Canadians. Asylum claims from safe or economic migrant-heavy countries added backlog and entry. These weren't pure skill worker point system inflows that exploded temporarily. So basically this is how Canada's run. It's ridiculous. It's just, you know, they want to increase the population any way they can, and they're just going to flood us with all these people that'll vote for them. Speaking of voting, this is the latest polls from Nanos polling. 43% for the Liberals, 31% for the Conservatives, so that's 12 point. 15% for the NDP, which is crazy. So between the NDP and the Liberals, they got like 58% of the vote. Like, tell me Canada's not a Bolshevik wannabe country with these numbers. Only 1% for PPC. That's not good. So these poll numbers have been bad for the Conservatives since the election, and they've gotten worse each time. They're not getting better. And even though Carney's like shitty, like he's not doing a good job, I don't think, but Pierre's not doing a good job either, obviously. I wonder when the knives will come out for him. If they will. Because, like, you know, he's not doing anything. Everything he says is he's either getting outflanked by Carney, or whatever he says doesn't have any effect. So yeah, it's pretty bad. But why? Who's voting for Carney? The old people. They love him. They think he's this figure of stability. And then you got the immigrants who the Liberals all let in. They'll all vote. 90% will vote for Liberals. And then you got, like I said, the elbows up crowd and the anti-Trumpers and the soft conservatives. So yeah, new leadership, big changes needed everywhere in Canada. We're screwed. All right, more Indians. Indians will destroy every lake, and that's Mike's motto. Indians will destroy every river and lake in Canada if given the chance. Because the thing with Canada is it was known as all the lakes, the fresh water, especially, you know, the Great Lakes, but also lots of little lakes in Alberta and BC and whatever, rivers, and they're all, and you know, they're known as pristine. So now they're going to be all destroyed. Dozens of Hindu statues thrown into Lake Huron, which is my lake right here, for a religious festival called Ganpati Visarjan. Liberals have banned plastic straws but are doing nothing to stop this pollution of the lake. Why? I don't know. Why did all this religion from India is involving polluting the river? Let's pollute the river. Like, it's the weirdest thing, man. And every festival is like, let's go pollute the river. Literally, let's throw garbage in the river festival. Look at this. Do you think these are biodegradable? They say, oh, they're biodegradable or whatever. Not a word from Fish and Wildlife, eh? Not a word. I'm gonna just throw all this shit in the river. Anyway. They can do this back in India. They don't need to do this stuff here. Alright, I've seen enough. So yeah, not a word though. It's just like the thing with the Muslims praying in the street and putting their speaker out and making everybody eat halal meat, and these guys throwing everything in the river, and then the other Sikhs, they got to wear their daggers and their turbans instead of motorcycle, whatever. Let's let them do everything here. Next, this story is funny. A judge found, we saw this a few weeks ago, but I guess the judge just gave his verdict. Judges found My Way bus driver Baljit Dhaliwal not guilty of dangerous driving causing death in connection with the June 8th, 2023 crash in Malton that killed 50-year-old Sharon Williams and injured several others. So it takes 3 years to go to trial here, almost 4 years, to conclude the trial. And they found not guilty. And the not guilty of dangerous driving causing death, I don't know. Like, the lawyers can nitpick because there's a high bar for the prosecution. They have to prove 100%, whatever. And the lawyers nitpicked, and the prosecutors in Ontario are so backlogged that they usually just, whatever, they can't deal with nitpicking lawyers, so they just... Anyway, this judge... Obviously, the prosecution didn't do a good job because the judge found him not guilty. So, basically, a Canadian life's not worth anything. And I found it's funny, okay, there's no accountability in Canada in the court system unless you're a straight white nationalist, then they'll throw the book at you. If this was a normal white guy driving, he would have got convicted. Maybe not, but probably. It's just they want to they give a sob story when they do something stupid instead of taking accountability, and then the judges here agree with them. This happen. I've seen this happen a few times because of their minorities or whatever. But look, yeah, he's not no dangerous driving there. He probably blamed the company for not training him properly. I don't know the details of the case, but he killed somebody. That doesn't count. It doesn't matter now. All right. Here's another story of no accountability. I was going to talk about this yesterday, but I forgot. I was having heat stroke or something. So this guy, he was accused of doing a shooting on the weekend in Toronto. One of many shootings in the weekend, including that Salsa Festival. Anyway, this guy was shooting up a nightclub. And apparently he already was on charges. He's a 25-year-old accused of opening fire on a Toronto nightclub crowd before running over pedestrians in a stolen rideshare vehicle. Had been free despite being arrested in a torture investigation just last year. Toronto police announced Omar Abdul Singate was facing 10 charges, including reckless discharge of a firearm in connection with a chaotic 3:30 a.m. shooting on the waterfront. According to police, a man opened fire on patrons leaving the nightclub before stealing a rideshare, which had customers on board. That's kind of funny. 4 passengers trapped in the car. The shooter then struck pedestrians and vehicles while attempting to flee. At the time of the incident, Singate was awaiting sentencing for a brutal home invasion and extortion case. So he broke in a home of a cryptocurrency guy and threatened him for money. And they tortured him. Okay. So why is he out on bail? And why is he shooting up nightclubs? That's crazy. In December 25, Attorney General, U.S. Attorney Office of Florida named him as a member of a 5-man smuggling ring that had moved more than 100 illegal guns into Canada. So this guy's shouldn't be on the street. Yet he is in Canada, because there's no accountability in Canada. No accountability. Next, this guy. Indian goes on a rant about how racist white teenagers are at the Calgary Stampede. What he's witnessing isn't racism, it's Indian fatigue. Yeah, I thought this was interesting because he was saying how it's young kids were being racist towards him as an Indian. And I was like, well, I'm always interested in what kids are thinking, young kids. And it's interesting because usually the boomers types and the older Canadians are like, oh, like they just fall over themselves trying to welcome these Indian people. So it's funny to see the youth. Let's hear this, guys.
Like I was literally at Stampede and they saw. You guys believe me or not, but white teenagers are so fucking racist. They're way too racist. Like I was literally at Stampede and they saw that this brown guy is alone, and this time they're saying these like dingle lingle lingle lingle. And like, what the fuck? If there will be another brown guys, they're not gonna say that. But whenever they see a person by themselves, they start using the racist thing. And they when I actually said that, I was like, you fucking racist. And they there are a couple of guys like, oh, you good? You trying to beef? Only know.
All right. I just thought that was interesting because of he said it was young Canadians. The young Canadians will decide what happens, not us. This is funny. This diarrhea outbreak surges past 3,000 cases in Michigan and Ohio. Scarier than COVID. Way scarier. Next, more Indians in the river. This is Halifax. Holy shit, they're everywhere. Hindu idols being thrown into Canadian waters, this time in the Atlantic Ocean, Halifax Harbor. Everywhere they go, they leave a trail of destruction and garbage. They're not here to adapt to the Western way of life. Like, literally, man, they're throwing garbage everywhere, every time. Every weekend, they're throwing garbage in the river. Like, literally, it's every festival is like, you must throw garbage in the river. All right. Oh. All right. It's only going to get worse. All right, more diarrhea news. Health officials investigate Taco Bell's role in one of the largest U.S. outbreaks of an illness causing explosive diarrhea. Frick. Explosive diarrhea. Not just diarrhea. Explosive diarrhea. And I remember we always used to joke, I don't eat Taco Bell anymore, but when you're drunk, you'd eat Taco Bell. And you'd always joke about like getting diarrhea or the runs, Taco Bell, whatever. Now it's the real thing. It's explosive diarrhea. And I was like, what the hell is explosive diarrhea? And I looked it up, and it's like, so regular diarrhea is like, okay, you feel sick, you feel like shit, and you gotta go to the bathroom, and you have diarrhea. But you have time, it's not like, you're not running or whatever. But explosive diarrhea is like, you have seconds to get to a toilet. And when it comes out like a jet spray. Like a fucking oil like, you know, a gusher from an oil well. So you got to get to the toilet before it explodes. So that's what explosive diarrhea is. So yeah, I don't want that. So I'm sure Taco Bell's going to take a hit on this one. Okay, next. Durham police search for suspect after woman violently sexually assaulted at Whitby Park. So we're talking about this too. A lot of like daytime sexual assaults in the GTA lately. Like usually, you know, the rapists come out at night. Now they're just gonna come out all. Oh, this one happened at 10:15, so this wasn't a daytime one. Anyway, it's Whitby. She's walking near Iroquois Beach Park in Whitby late Monday night. So basically, a woman can't walk alone in a park in Canada at 10 p.m. Probably not a good idea anyway, but back in the day, you could do it. Victim was leaving the beach park and walking along a sandy pathway leading northwest. She was approached by an unknown man. Police allege the suspect dragged the woman off the path into a nearby tree line where he threatened and sexually assaulted her. Alright. Suspect described as a black male with shoulder-length cornrow-style hair. He is last seen wearing all black clothing. So basically, when I say third world country, it's basically if the women can't go for a run without getting raped, then you're living in a third world country. Next, there is a Doug Ford's alcohol stunt has lost $2 million in product expiring. It's costing $500,000 per month to store what's remaining. Ford Nation puts this back on the shelves. It's not going to change our trade situation. In fact, putting it back on the shelves may help it. Yeah, this is costing us millions of dollars, and Trump probably doesn't even know what happened. He probably doesn't even know about it, or he doesn't really give a shit.
$1,000 a month just to have this alcohol sitting someplace and keeping it safe. I should note as well, it was $80 million worth of alcohol taken off the shelves. To date, about $2 million worth of that alcohol has expired. Now, generally speaking, alcohol has a long shelf life, but some kinds of alcohol, say if it's mixed with cream or something like that to create a liqueur, it has a shorter lifespan. That has expired and had to be removed and probably destroyed. So the question remains, what do we do with the inventory that's left? And is this boycott really having the same influence on consumers and frankly, even on Mr. Trump himself? If it's not, why are we spending $500,000 a month?
Yeah, we're really showing them. Really showing them. All right. Next, Corey Tanecki's spouting off on Pierre, basically saying he's never done anything useful in his life except being a politician. And I don't really care what Corey Tanecki says, but whenever he talks like this, it means the knives might come out for Pierre. He doesn't. That's the message that they're trying to send out.
Politics, and who have entered politics in their 20s. I think they missed the larger point of why they're having trouble with Carney. And well, there are many things, and I'll get to one of them in my Hey You. But here is the fundamental problem that they need to grapple with Carney, and that is the comparison between the two leaders. And this is a problem that would have existed with Scheer too. But here is the issue: when you elect leaders who are completely and utterly unaccomplished prior to entering politics,
no, he's not holding back here.
20s, you are going to be very vulnerable as the leader of that party to running against somebody who has actually done something with their life. And, like why Scheer is still
this is
sitting
Doug
in the
Ford's
caucus
guy.
is the same reason why Poilievre will end up sitting in the caucus after he's done being leader. Or maybe he'll be on a podcast, peddling kettlebells and talking about his peptide stack, because he is unemployable in any other job. And this is a challenge, right? If you're up against Trudeau, who at least was a celebrity, right? He had that going for him in terms of ballot box appeal, as vacuous as that is. You can be more competitive against that guy because outside of being a celebrity, what was Trudeau? A substitute school teacher and a snowboarding instructor. Okay, you can go up against that as a fake insurance broker and a waiter at Boston Pizza, if you're Scheer, or somebody who's done absolutely nothing else in life, as Poilievre had. Because you're then, a more comparable thing. But going up against Carney, we need to have somebody with some gravitas. And it's not like there aren't like tens of thousands of people out there in conservative land who could offer a much sharper point of contrast with Carney that have accomplished a lot of things with their life.
So basically, there it is. Like he's saying, we got to get rid of Pierre. So I thought that was interesting. It'll be interesting if the knives come out for him because it's bad. Carney's killing him. All right, more rivers. I think we saw this one already. All right. And Nick Koval is saying that he has a 14-point gap. His polling showing a 14-point gap with Pierre and Carney, or the Liberals and the Conservatives. Yeah, Pierre's looking more useless every day. I predicted he won't make it till the next election as leader, but I thought I'd be wrong. But maybe I'll be right. Okay, next, Doug Ford. $107,000 in hotel rooms and $29 million private jet. Say differently. This is after he said the party with tax ceremony is over. Yeah, one of his MPs who lives in Toronto racked up $107,000 in hotel rooms in Toronto, luxury hotel rooms. I wonder what the hell is doing in those hotel rooms. That's my question. Stan Cho or something, I don't know what his name is. And then this is obviously after Ford tried to buy that $30 million jet. All right, next. Okay, here's a picture of that Omar guy. Brampton resident accused of committing a shooting at Toronto's Polson Pier was out awaiting sentencing for breaking into a Montreal home and torturing the 32-year-old resident. Look at this guy. I can't believe he's out and about shooting up nightclubs, stealing Ubers. All right, look at this. Canada really looks like India now. Yes, it does. Look at this. The Calistanis against the Indians. Look at this all. Unreal, man. Unreal. I don't think they're going to clean their garbage up after either. All right. Next. Oh, God. More truck drivers. So this guy, I saw this video. I don't think we fully understand just how unsafe the roads are. This truck driver wasn't even aware he was missing a lug nut on his tire, so clearly safety and mechanical checks by him are being ignored.
Huh? You don't understand? No. No, you don't see?
Oh,
What?
I don't understand, bro.
You don't
You
understand.
don't see, you don't have balls. You don't have nuts.
Oh.
Huh? You don't understand? And right now it's due TV. They will fuck you, you know? What? You need to buy gold. Go and buy.
So basically, they don't. You see a lot of them with missing wheels. That's why, because they don't. You're supposed to. I don't know. You guess you're supposed to check your truck before you drive it. It's like, wow, man. Totally. How many more Canadians are going to die because of this? How, you know, there's another humble Broncos. It's just waiting to happen with these guys. We need the robots. Bring on the robots. Here's more Corey Tanecki. I think they're going to, after the summer, they're going to, if the poll numbers stay that way, I don't know, there's got to be some rumblings with the Conservatives about polio. Not that I'm worried about the Conservative Party. They're kind of useless anyway. We need a nationalist party in Canada, like the one in Britain, but I don't see it happening. I don't know. We're too commie now. But here's Corey Tanecki really going off on polio.
Badly as his do, if your leadership numbers suck as badly as his do.
He's not holding back.
Do a wellness check on Pierre Poilievre. I think he's showing some signs of some sort of rupture from reality or mental breakdown. I don't know. It makes no sense to me, you know, for all the reasons that Brian laid out, to be going around the country picking fights with Conservatives. The best I can come up with is a rationale, although I don't live in his head, although maybe I do, but not.
I think you do,
rent
free, actually.
Not willingly. If you can't beat Carney, if your polling numbers suck as badly as his do, if your leadership numbers suck as badly as his do, if your best prime minister number pales in comparison to Carney's to the level that it does, then you try to reframe the question into something that allows you to continue to get your, continue to be the leader of the opposition. That comes with, a chauffeur and a 19-bedroom mansion and, a house staff and all of that. Because at the end of the day, you got to bear in mind that, well, I wouldn't go so far as to say that Poilievre is completely unemployable. He could work at McDonald's or Tim Hortons or all kinds of places. but he is impossible to employ in an equivalent type position with the level of stature and prestige and compensation, both monetary and non-monetary, that he has currently. And I think his entire ego and self-image is wrapped up and frozen in time in 2024, where it looked like he was going to be prime minister. Now that it is very clear to everyone in the world, except perhaps him and a handful of trolls online, that that ain't ever going to happen, he's trying to recast the decision from, you know, who do you want to have be prime minister to who should be the leader of the opposition. And it shouldn't be, you know, some Doug Ford conservative or some Tim Houston conservative or some, you know, whatever, fill in the blank, to recast the you know, what the test is. And if the test isn't, can you become prime minister, then what the fuck are you doing as leader of the Conservative Party? Because that is, I think, for me and most conservatives, the actual important thing. You know, can you actually win an election? Can you unite enough conservatives to actually prosecute a campaign effectively? And I think increasingly the answer to that is no.
So I think you're going to see a lot more of that against Pierre as the weeks go by, and the poll numbers suck for him. So it should be Taneki's obviously not a fan. Not a fan. So I'm sure once the summer dog days end, some movement will happen on that front. Anyway, I think I said the date wrong at the start. It's not the 15th today, it's the 14th. I don't even know what day it is. So next day we'll be back is Friday, July 17th. I'm losing my mind. Friday, June 17th. So until then, stay cool and have a nice night.